I am Dr. Sherry. Okay, you guys, will be right back after our intro. Hi, everybody. I am Dr. Sherry, and we do our private life show every Friday. Listen, join us every Friday, also at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when when we do our Friday night orientation that tells you all about status correction and what involves status correction and how everything began, how all the fraud began. So on today's private life show, I want to talk about, and I'm Googling it now to make sure that I give the right dates. Give me 1 second, because we got some good news we're about to talk about. And y'all know when I say it's good news, it is good news. Things have been a little quiet, though. Things have been really quiet and purposefully quiet. So they are talking about Doge monies coming forth, right? And what I've been reading, that it's going to be around $5,000. Now, there are two different perspectives with this $5,000 that may or may not be coming. Okay. I think it's coming. But there's two different perspectives. So for one, if you are not status corrected, and one, if you are status corrected. So let's just say you are considered a U.S. citizen and you receive the $5,000 either direct deposited or a check or what have you. Then that is monies, of course, that you will count possibly on your taxes if you're still processing it, processing taxes. Hey, great day to you, Purple Rain 313. And now, if you're status corrected, I'm going to gear my conversation towards those that are status corrected. So if you're status corrected and you receive the $5,000, you are going to need to send them a letter stating that you are in receipt of the partial payment. That is so key. So now, if you receive an actual hard check, okay, an actual check of the $5,000, you can write on the back with your signature, partial payment accepted. If you get a direct deposit, okay, if you're used to getting, direct deposit from the IRS, then you need to send them a letter accepting the partial payment. Why? Because that is just a smidget of what's owed to us as status corrected people. That's just a smidget. So do keep that in mind. If you're in a school, I'm going to be going through this with the school, okay? So you all know how to handle these $5,000 payments when they come. I believe they're going to do it. I believe they're going to do it, but it's just at this point when they're going to do it, okay? So that's one thing I wanted to mention today because it looks like that's going forth. The next thing I want to cover today is the state of what's going on right now. There seems to be a mass confusion of many, even the U.S. citizens, not understanding what's happening. Now, if you're in our school, you got hip to this way back in September. You already knew that this was going to go down. So this is not any news to you. But I want to kind of give some clarification so we're kind of clear about what's happening. Now, right now, we're seeing a lot of reorganization. We're seeing a lot of shutting down of departments. We're seeing a lot of layoffs taking place. Why is that taking place, you guys? So, okay, I want you to think of this. If you have ever been through a bankruptcy, or if you know someone who has been through the bankruptcy, that is exactly what takes place. You have to reorganize your bills. You have to restructure your bills. Some people you have to pay off. Some things you're going to have to do away with, but it's a complete restructuring. We have told you all for months especially since we've been doing this podcast, the Private Life Show, that the U.S. is bankrupt. They are literally in bankruptcy as we speak. And what they're doing is they are fulfilling the judge's order on how to restructure the bankruptcy, just like you would have had to do if you filed bankruptcy as a U.S. citizen. It's the same thing. So when people are trying to lay this on Trump, it's not Trump. When people are trying to lay this on Elon Musk, it's not Elon Musk. This is something that is mandated through the bankruptcy court. That's the part they're not telling you. And that's why people are in a state of confusion, because they don't understand. They don't know, where is this coming from and why is it coming? And that's the missing piece right now. So what you're seeing, what you're witnessing, is a restructuring that is mandated by the courts because U.S. is under a bankruptcy order. And they're having to find the money. They're having to restructure the waste. Okay, when I say restructure the waste, they're having to find out where the waste is and restructure those departments so there's not any more waste. So when you see people having to reply to an email that's stating, tell me everything you did last week, that they really are trying to figure out where the waste is. So if you're in a department and you didn't do anything last week, that's waste. So when you see these things happening, this is why it's happening. And it's a very simple response. They're under bankruptcy. So they're restructuring the federal government under the bankruptcy. Okay? So that's what's happening. They're cleaning stuff up. They're cleaning up what should have been cleaned up years ago. All right. So that's one component that's taking place. And then at the same time, you have something that's parallel going on, whereas this American Federation dollar is coming forth, which is being labeled now as the financial freedom currency. They have labeled this the financial freedom currency. Okay. So for those that are status corrected, now I have not validated this. I don't know if this is true or not true. It has not been fact checked. Let me make sure I preface this with all of that. Okay, are we clear? It is not fact checked. It is not validated, but I heard it on the streets. Okay, let's be very, very clear with that. I heard it on the streets, okay? But I'm understanding that April is being targeted as being the Jubilee time period. And for those that know about Jubilees, you know it's a time of celebration, right? And so understanding that April is being labeled as the time of celebration, knowing that April is literally our, for real, new year, okay? That is so important. April is labeled and truly is the new year, all right? So everything is being put back. Empress says, okay. Everything is being put back in its proper perspective. Everything is being put in its proper order. So I could understand, as the word is on the street, possibly everything's beginning to happen, transfer over, begin to get turned on in April. So what does that mean? April will be Memorial. I believe that. So what am I doing right now? I'm kind of just going with the flow of all of this. But at this point, those that are in the school, I'm just telling you, as soon as everything is turned on, we're going to be good. We're going to be good because this is the beauty of this. We will only be able to share our American Federation dollars with those that are status corrected. That's it. So if you're status corrected, right, and we're able now to convert that over to United States dollars, okay, you have to be careful in understanding not to to push so much in the de facto world with that, because you could be pulled into their jurisdiction. So if you're thinking about taking those monies and starting businesses, you don't want to do that. You got to be smart with it. You have to be smart on how you move. So I hope that we're educated enough that if we are status corrected, okay, if we already have those $5,000 American Federation dollars coming to us, or you have actually put your monies into the vault. And so for those that don't understand the vault, I'll go through that in just a second. Let me see what y'all are saying. That would make sense for it to happen in April. I believe so too. But again, nothing is confirmed. Okay, I want that. I'm going to keep saying this over and over again. It is not fact checked. Okay, I'm just listening to what the word is on the street. And you guys, do me a favor. Can y'all give me a thumbs up? I have to remind myself to say that, because that actually pushes it out further. Okay, let me put my banner up too. I'll be forgetting that little banner. There you go. Okay. And you can go to newstatusnewlife.com. So what you guys need to do is it's at this point that you really need to share this. Share the information. I've shared out it. I don't have anybody else share it with. Listen, I done share with all my peoples. So I don't have anybody to share the news with at this point. It's just getting to the point that everybody just has to make their own decisions, and they have to decide, how they want to move with this new world. We talk about a new world order. We were programmed to think one thing, not understanding this new world order is really working in our favor. It really is working in our favor. It really is working and positioning us to a life of financial freedom. Bigger than the financial part. Because when we think of finance, we always think it's literally about money. It's not about money. One thing I have found when, I was deciding that I was going to actually, stop doing the bills and really begin to press in and learn this information so I can get that stuff covered. One thing that I began to understand is money is not needed to live. There was times where I was able to barter. I'll give you this, you give me that, okay? And really, when we talk about the exchange of our essential needs, it was in a world of bartering. It was in a bartering system. So what's happening right now is that we are moving into a space. Hey, Harrison, we're moving into a space. That's right. Emotional freedom. There it is. We're moving into a space now of understanding who we are, understanding where the power lies. I did a land patent class, and I was explaining to them the power in that land patent, right? And that land patent being given to us unto God. And then, and relating that to scripture where it talks about your body and land being one. And people don't understand that, because our bodies was made of the dust. The land is in us. The land is of us. We are the land. The land is us. You cannot put a mortgage or a tax on me as the natural man or the natural woman. So when you begin to learn how to articulate this, when you begin to understand your power, okay, you can shut all of that stuff down. But it's in learning how to articulate who you are. It's learning how to bring in all of those factual documents that are accepted. What do I say? Black Laws Dictionary, the Supremacy Clause. What else? A lot of factual, the Bible, using the Geneva Bible. These are accepted documents that are used to work in your favor if you know how to use them. All right. So this where it comes in, study to show thyself approved. All right. You guys, that's all I have for you today. Like I said, at this point, we try to keep these short and sweet and to the point. And that's all the announcements I have there, because it has been so quiet. It has been so quiet. So I do have some new information and new webinars I need to go back and check out. All right. And so I'm going to go and I'm going to write down all the stuff that I've learned new. And then I'll make sure that I share that with you next Friday. But for right now, it has been quiet, real quiet. Okay. Just a few announcements. We are already into our land patent class, our second session land patent class. We will have our next land patent class coming up possibly the end of April. So if you have not gotten into that class yet, let me urge you to get your monies in order, because when people come into their class, their minds are blown, completely blown. All right. If you haven't joined the school yet, go ahead and join the school. Go ahead to newstatusnewlife.com and the school link can be there. And that's all I have for you today. So until next time, bye.